Welcome to Small Town Big Dreams, where people from small towns around the country come to talk about how they're making big dreams a reality and the impact they have on them, their community, and beyond. Now from the United Country Fulford Realty Recording Studio in Hartford, Alabama, here are your hosts, Michael and Tina Doherty.
All right, guys. So this is number 4 for us, and today's guest is Miss Rinske from Working Cow Dairy, and so her and her husband have a dairy in Slocomb, and so we're going to get their story on kind of how they got here, and so we'll probably start with that if that's all right with you.
That's fine with me. We came to America in 1985, so it's about 39 years this year.
And where'd you come from?
The Netherlands. Or actually, we came from Germany that time, but originally we were from the Netherlands, and we lived a year in Germany. And we came with $4,949 because the euro, the gulden to the dollar was so expensive. And we started our dairy in Cottondale, Alabama. We started milking lease cows, we could lease 50 cows for that money we had and live in somebody's basement. And from there we started milking cows, his cows twice a day, our cows 3 times a day. And after 2 years we moved from there to Grand Ridge, Florida, rented a farm, moved with 29 cows paid for. And we rented a farm from the government because they wanted to foreclose on a property. And from there we moved actually to Slocomb, Alabama, bought a dairy in Slocomb in 1991.
So the cattle that you leased, you leased those from the farmer?
We actually didn't have no credit when we came, so he could lease the cows, and the guy didn't have a good credit, or he had a good credit, but he didn't have the money to lease the cows. So when we left, we needed to leave the cows behind. So we left the 50 cows with him, and we moved with 29 cows paid for.
That you had gotten paid for over time?
Yeah, over time we had those cows paid for. We had finally had a single white mobile home we had bought, and 2 bedroom, 1 bath.
Wow.
We like those single wide homes. We had one of those too one time.
Yeah, we lived in it till 1993.
Yeah.
With 3 boys, we took a wall out of the closet and put a crib in it. Made it work, so we didn't have to borrow more money.
Yeah. I think that's something that most, if you don't grow up on a farm, or if you hadn't worked a farm, sometimes you don't understand what that entails and what you go through to survive.
Yes, that's right.
There's a lot of hard work, and there's a lot of, you have to be creative in order to make it.
Yes, that's right. And that's what we done. We moved to Alabama in 1991, and we went from $350 rent a month to $3,500 lease payment. So that was a whole different story. And so we milked the 220 cows, and we thought we could easily use the banker out of Marianna to buy more cows to make this all work. And well, we got a reality check because those people from Marianna didn't want to do business in Alabama. So, and then after a while, we met Joseph Johnson from Friend Bank now, and they helped us get started from there.
Yeah. Joseph's been good to us at times also. We're good friends with Joseph and that bank also. So, we in the country, we sell a lot of rural property, and so a lot of times it will be farm oriented, and so our slogan is that we sell a lifestyle.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things that I think that you will be able to convey to the general public is the lifestyle. Sometimes you think you're buying something you really want, and then you find out that it's actually a pretty strong job to maintain, but it also is so rewarding. I think the way that we raised our kids, we grew up, raised kids on the farm. We've had poultry and cattle, and so we've raised our kids in that environment, in the closeness, because you have to. The love that you create as a family is it's just not replaceable.
No, and that's what we always said. It's a lot of things we would have done different, but to raise our boys on the farm in no daycare, well, a little bit in the mornings. Right. After a while, they had to go for a couple of hours so that Jan could feed the cows and we could be together later on. But then, the lifestyle of raising your own kids, on the farm.
Can't beat it, can you?
You cannot beat it. I said I might have done a lot of things different, but I would not want to do that part of my life different.
Absolutely.
You know?
Same
Totally
here.
not.
I was raised on the farm, so it just teaches you a work ethic
Yeah,
that is hard to come by sometimes these days. But you get that kid that was raised up on the farm, and he's going to outwork you.
yeah,
And he just looking for. I've told mine over and over. Don't just stand there. Look and see what is coming up next and what he's going to need you to hand him, or I'm going to need if I'm fixing fence, whatever we're doing. And I know with cattle, you always fixing fence, trying to keep them in, and the equipment, and so you just learn how to think in a different way.
totally different. And you don't have eye flaps on. I think
Right.
they got taught right early on that hey, look around you.
Yes.
It's not like, well, Mama told me to do this, but if I'm going that way,
That's right.
Go ahead and grab.
go ahead and grab, or just pick up what need to be picked up or need to be fixed.
Yeah.
Because if I don't do it now, it needs to be done later.
Yeah. If you see that I'm gonna need to fill that hole up, get the scoop,
Yeah, that's
and,
right.
and don't make me say, "Hey, go get the scoop," because
No, that's right.
I mean, but that would just fall over into whatever they do for a living.
Yeah.
Also,
And you can see that our boys too, they're older now, so they have their own careers. Or Farley, one of them is at Farley, and the work ethic, they just say, these farm boys, they have a work ethic.
oh yeah,
There's not something comparable to somebody out the city.
No, it makes a huge difference. So we've started back. We got you from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
You did Florida, and now you're homegrown
Slocomb,
Slocomb,
Alabama.
Alabama. So
Yeah.
we're gonna claim you, good old Geneva County.
That's right.
so
that's
we-
right.
so
When,
that's
when I
our-
go home, when I go to the Netherlands, they say, "What do you call now home?" And I said, "I have to call Slocomb, Alabama home."
That's right.
I
That's right.
don't feel comfortable over there anymore. I have now been living longer over here than I have lived in the Netherlands.
That's
So,
awesome. So tell us a little bit about the operation in Slocomb. I know we've talked about milking cows, but that's just the very top.
Yeah.
I've got a little granddaughter that loves some chocolate milk from over that way.
Yes.
And we've got some stuff on the table here, which is probably hard to see from the camera, but we've got some cheeses, and I hear you do some wine tasting festivals
Yeah.
with the cheeses. So
do.
you got a lot of stuff going on. So I'll just kind of let you give us a little bit of what goes on at the farm. Well, I guess it's the dairy. We'll say
Yeah,
the dairy.
dairy, yeah.
Now that's probably how you guys term it.
Yes.
So,
We're a dairy farm, so we produce milk. And
and that is available to the public, guys.
yeah, it is available to the public. And then we milk the cows at 7 o'clock in the morning. At the moment, only milk once a day because we can't find enough help to milk the cows twice a day. So we said, well, to relax life a little bit, and I can't do it all. So we milk them at 7 o'clock in the morning, get done with that. I make in January till, I just quit last week, so I make from January to May cheese. Because when the rye and the ryegrass grows like that, it's just super quality, and it's just different tasting.
Oh, it's amazing. It's absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, I just won 3 awards 2 weeks ago in the International Dairy Competition in Los Angeles. I scored higher with the butter than Organic Valley.
wow,
I had gold, and Organic Valley was silver this year, now that I was there. And then the cheeses won silver with them. The Slocomb tomato and garlic won silver, and then the Farmstead cheese had silver, but that is also, were the only 3 products I had sent in.
Yeah, the Slocomb tomato and garlic is actually one of the ones that I got here
Yeah.
for us today. And David Miller, who you passed when you came in, I started cutting the cheese up in here, and he ran in here real quick to grab some. So
okay.
he said it was fantastic. So
Yeah,
It is great.
Yeah, and then we have an honor system on the farm, so we see. Oh, I don't always see the people. We have an honor system for a reason, because I'm full-time working on the farm,
Right?
and you can drive up 24/7, cash, check, or Venmo app. And the Venmo app is getting really famous. people start using that a lot.
Yeah.
And we have on the system. Then we do whole milk. We do raw milk straight from the cow. That is for pet consumption only by the state of Alabama. And then we have 7 different kind of cheeses, and then 3 kind of butters, heavy whipping cream, and the famous chocolate milk.
Yeah, that chocolate milk goes over real well. And that's one thing I think that we probably need to note and talk about is we are small town, big dreams.
Yeah.
Probably only in the small town could you have a place that you can go purchase something with the honor system where there's nobody to check you out. It is an honor system where you get your stuff and you leave your money. And that says loads for the community that we live in.
Yes, ma'am.
That can happen, which I'm sure you've got cameras and things like that.
Well, we had to install cameras.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, just because a couple of incidents happen.
Yeah.
And it don't help nothing. If somebody wants to do something, they're going to do it anyway.
That's right.
But it's just ID.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long we can keep on doing that because even small towns, as close as we're getting to Dothan,
Yep.
crime is going to happen.
It is. It is.
And it's just our way of life. We always think the better of the people. So if you can't live like that, then you don't need to be coming.
That's right.
And it's the honor system works really great. I wish more people would understand when they come with a $20 bill and they buy for $19.50 to take those 2 quarters off the next time, because it takes a lot of effort for me to quit my bookkeeping or my paperwork to give you 2 quarters back. And I appreciate your business. Don't misunderstand me, but it's an honor system for a reason.
Yeah.
That you level it out the next time. If you're 2 quarters short, you just pay me the next time the 2 quarters. Because it's nothing.
And they may not understand that. So
No, I think a lot of people don't understand.
Maybe that's something that can come from the podcast is that you're holding those people accountable to kind of make their correct changes work out.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I would probably just consider that a tip, truthfully, if it were me. I'd just be like, here's 50 cents, thanks, you know. Because a lot of times I know people don't carry as much cash.
And that's why I think the Venmo is getting really popular.
Kids love it.
Yeah.
They love it. My kids they're forever saying, Mom, can I Venmo you for so-and-so? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I finally got it. So, you know.
I still don't Venmo.
He doesn't. But I did get it just because the kids and even friends that, you know, we'll go eat and they'll say, you know, well, I'll get it and you can Venmo me. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. So I had to figure it out. So.
Yeah, but it's also a way of what people don't understand. Some people still pay with a credit card. But if I use Square, it's going to cost 4%.
Yeah.
And that 4%, yesterday it was $1,300, but I moved from a week with the Square. And I know it's only $1,300, but do 4% from it.
Yeah.
That I don't get what really is maybe only my profit margin.
Yeah. Right. It adds up.
It adds up.
It does. Those fees are outrageous.
Yeah, so. It's nothing easier than just Venmo.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just handle it with Venmo. Yeah. How many cows do you have on the farm in Slocomb now?
We have about 160 animals, and we milk 110, I think.
Did you say 60?
160.
160. Whoa.
Yeah.
So how many acres does it take to maintain that number of cattle?
Only needs probably 220 acres, but we got 600.
Yeah. So you guys have a good bit to maintain and grow hay.
And that's our second business is organic hay. And we hope the cheese business has quadrupled this last year.
Yes.
With the award winnings, and we hope we can. That's really our goal is to milk less cow or stay on this number of cows and grow our income with selling less milk. More cheese and butter.
Oh, I feel like you're probably headed there.
Yeah.
You sell a good bit out of the state of Alabama. Matter of fact, you sell more in Georgia and South Carolina. I think is what we was.
Yeah,
noticing.
the Whole Foods is big, but not as big anymore as they were before they were bought by Amazon.
I got you.
There's a lot of red tape. And because our son actually owns the bottling operation, so we're selling our raw milk to him.
Okay.
And he pays us for the raw milk. Then he is the one processing it and pasteurizing it and then shipping it to Unifi now and not Whole Foods anymore. And that's where the distributor then causes a lot of problems. So we went to selling 1,800 gallons a week till about 600-700 gallons a week. And so that's what we're catching up with, that raw milk then. Raw milk and the cheese now is a lot better and higher priced product. So it don't hurt us. And it's sad for the people who really want our products in the southern states, but they can order cheese online and butter, and then.
That's one thing I wanted to mention is that y'all's website. I don't know who did your website, but it's very functional and very has a lot of information.
Yeah.
I checked out a few of your blog posts. That's actually how I kind of suggested you to come on and everything. Is you have a good bit of your story on there.
Yeah.
And even some details about the cheese making that's very well researched of the benefits with it. So
now I done most of the information. That I'm not the one who put it together. I used to do that. I used to do all the website too, till our boys took it over for a little bit, and they hired somebody to make this website with the same information I had on it, but just more professional.
Will we be able to list her website?
absolutely, when we do the description of the
We'll be able
in there. So just if you want to go to their website, just open up the information on whatever you're streaming this at, and I'll have their website linked and your Facebook page too. And you'll be sure to give them a follow on Facebook. There's some great content there too.
Yeah, and that's we are also on Instagram and Facebook. And then my husband suggested I should get TikTok, and I said, I can't do no more.
It can be very overwhelming.
Yes, it is.
It becomes a job in itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I don't always get all these notifications because I'm sick of those notifications. So I have my phone on silence, and I sometimes miss people, and they think I don't get back with them because I don't want to. It's just I'm busy.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing the labor.
And I'll get with you, but it might be tomorrow. You know, I'm not like sitting on the phone the whole day, like, oh, somebody text me. I need to text them back. I just can get nothing of my real work done.
Yeah.
Can't do that in milk cows.
No, I don't milk cows anymore. I quit milking cows last September. And let's see, I was always milking cows up till last September, every Saturday morning at least still. And then before that, was probably 3 years before that, I was on a regular schedule still milking cows. But then I had a schoolboy helping me. That didn't work out. And then my daughter-in-law had a baby, and she used to milk cows for us 5 years ago, and she left for a little bit, and she got with my son, and then they had a baby, and now she's milking cows again, so I don't have to milk them.
That's great.
Yeah, and then I have a Mexican lady what helps milk the cows. And then with the two ladies, I make the cheese and the butter. We do it with the three of us.
Man, that's a lot of work for 3 people.
It is. And then now our son is home too, so he's feeding the cows again. So the oldest one is home, but he does actually the pasteurization from the milk, and he buys a lot of milk in Georgia because we can't produce enough milk for what he makes. He makes a lot of ice cream mixes. Good. But it's getting made hard for him to buy milk off the market, what we can produce.
And he does.
One of the things that I remember you saying when we visited the farm was that your cheese was made from the top grade milk.
Yes, sir.
So that was some of the difference, I think, in the quality of your cheese.
Yeah.
Is that, and something that the general public does not understand or know about is that milk is in grades.
Yes. Milk is in 5-6 different classes. In America, it's in Federal Milk Market Administration, what holds that accountable on so milk you produce on the 1st of the month, you won't know what you get the next month on the 15th. And that's what got us in trouble when we were milking 900 cows. Because before you know, you're $200,000-$300,000 in debt a month to feeding cows, and your milk price dropped by federal regulations so low. So the first class is the drink milk. So the drink milk is the utilization for the milk. Drink milk needs to be as high as possible because that's the first grade milk. So then if you have a bad load of milk, what has not a quality for that drink milk, that goes to the cheese plant. And then that milk, so with less quality, goes into cheese. Whereby us, it doesn't matter. It's fresh milk, goes right away into cheese. It gets pasteurized up to 145 degrees, the lowest possible, and that goes into cheese. That's why I think milk from our cows tastes so much better.
Yep.
Wow, that
And
cheese
grass-
was so
That makes
delicious.
sense,
And creamy.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I was fixing to say. It had that.
You feel that cream and kind of.
Yeah.
Well, because I don't skim off the cream.
Yeah.
It was
Where
obvious.
The bigger companies do that.
Mm-hmm.
They go back to a 325, and some of this cheese this year was made from a 4.7 butterfat.
Hey, anything that's got more fat in it.
It's the good kind of fats though,
Yeah.
because you're talking about grass-fed cows and not grain-fed cows. So grass-fed cows and milk is just way better for you.
I remember when you guys were transitioning into the organic, I think, and being a farm boy, I heard, and actually I went by your farm, and you guys were using the propane
Oh yeah,
burners to, and so I'm like, wow, that's got to be a lot of work, to maintain all that and to make it grass fed.
yeah. Well, actually,
regulated.
that was before our grass feeding.
Was it?
That was the corn. Mm-hmm. Then we were still planting corn,
Right.
but because we're being here where we're at, we don't even have enough water to have a good corn crop.
Right.
So we were spraying in between the rows, or burning the grass and the weeds in between the rows because we couldn't use no chemicals.
Yeah. To keep your regulations and all like you wanted them.
It took 3 years to do that. So from 2006, we made the decision to go organic, and November the 1st, 2009, we were organic.
One other thing that I remember before I forget it is we talked about the lactose intolerant people being able to digest your cheeses, your butters, your
Milk,
and some of your milks, or
all the milk.
all your milks.
Yeah.
So that's something that is important to know for those guys that are lactose intolerant, that your product is definitely, because in the southern world, a lot of times, if you're not from the north, or if you hadn't been around a dairy, cheese is not really thought about it that much. At least for me, Kraft cheese. We had Kraft cheese slices.
He's
and
peeling
so-
the singles out of the wrapper.
So that's what I know about
She's cringing.
cheeses.
She's going, oh my God.
That's not even cheese.
That's
No,
fake.
it probably isn't.
He's a
No.
fake.
Yeah.
And so
Between the margarine and that kind of cheese, it's all plastic.
Yeah.
Nope, that's right.
Yeah.
One monocle short of plastic.
Yeah, ain't that something? And,
Yeah.
and so cheese has never been a big deal to me.
No.
And so I got some at a cousin's youngin's wedding, and she had gotten it from somewhere, and I'm like, man, that's good cheese. And so it made me start thinking about cheeses a little better.
Yeah.
And so, and I know you guys do the wine festival like at Seaside on 38 down there, and that was a big deal for you guys to be recognized in that. And you mentioned that you got a lot of vendors that were interested.
Yeah.
And so if the vendors was to listen to this and know that your cheese is top quality cheese.
Yeah.
And how to get up with you with your website, and we'll have that posted. But that, I know the lactose intolerant thing had to be a big deal for those guys that are lactose intolerant anyway.
Yeah. Well,
to get a
because
good
it's
product.
Well, the thing is, it's not so much about it is about the milk, but we don't homogenize our milk, so the fat molecules are still whole. But also, our low temperature pasteurization is actually what helped people with lactose intolerance. The milk in the stores are ultra pasteurized. That means they kill everything. Also, the enzymes, what will digest the milk. So now you have a product, your body don't know nothing what to do with it anymore. So that's why our milk is just low temperature pasteurized, and the enzymes are still alive, where your body knows what to do with it.
Right.
They our neighbor, she is from the north, and she gets milk from you, and her daughter, she was doing, I guess, milk from the grocery store.
Yeah.
And she couldn't tolerate it.
No.
And she went over and got your milk, and she was able to drink it, and it didn't make her sick. And she was explaining to me, she does a lot of organic and natural stuff. And she was explaining that to me. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense, but it did the way you just explained it.
Yes, ma'am.
You're not killing.
We don't over process the food, and that's how you have to think about it. how we came into this was more like our son got ulcerative colitis, and it's a modern age disease. And when we start going to the doctors, he was one of the youngest ones. But by the time 5 years later, when we went to the same doctors in Baptist South in Montgomery, he was one of the older ones because they were bringing in babies with that. And that has all to do with the pasteurization or the killing with the pesticides on the foods. Where me and you can handle it, but he could not. And there's more people who get these allergies or stomach reactions from that kind of food and that over-processed food. You need to go back to the less processed, less grocery bought boxes and cans and just make your old-fashioned dinner again.
Yep, I tell Michael that all the time. I'm like, if it can stay good on a shelf for 2 years, what do you think it's doing to your body?
I know.
You know,
Terrible.
by no means am I, as they call, crunchy.
Yeah.
That's what it's called nowadays. Is
Crunchy.
being crunchy. I'm not. I mean, I try to be healthy as best I can, but the concept certainly makes sense. I'd love to be more educated on it and it be more readily available.
Well, and that's what I say. If our son was not diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, I was from the impression that what the government says they can spray on all this food and the peanuts and whatever they do, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then you start researching, internet comes available, what was not available to me when I was raising the boys. You start thinking, what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing to my kids or my grandkids? The sugars and the GMOs and over-processed food.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's totally different world when you start changing your habits. And we didn't go to McDonald's anymore, and we don't even say the name McDonald's anymore because they were like little kids. So we could say, oh, we don't go by M anymore. Because if we said McDonald's, they would be screaming, let's go to McDonald's. And no, we don't, And that's the easy part when you have kids small enough, when you figure this out, where you can still change the habits.
Yeah, because it is a habit. Majority of it is a habit.
It's all an addiction, and especially the sugars.
Mm-hmm.
It's all addiction.
We just got to get addicted to the right stuff, to the good stuff, don't we?
That's right. You need to get addicted to the cheese. And some of the kids would come by, our granddaughter too. First thing she has, you got to have Beppa her cheese, because Beppa is grandma for in our language. She needs to have Beppa cheese, And there's some other people who come with little girls, they say, oh, we need to have cheese samples, because we have cheese samples out. All 7 cheeses are out there with toothpicks, please, to use. And you can sample the cheese before you buy it. So just drive up, even if you don't want to buy nothing. Just try the cheese for yourself and say, hey, this is something I want to have.
Yeah, I want to try that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we have a few places in Enterprise, actually. The butcher's daughter carries some of our cheese. Cork and Kettle uses a lot of our cheese on the cutting board, on their cheese boards. And then in Doughton, we don't have really an outlet. It's been mainly coming to the farm. Because if you realize this is what we need for the cheese, just think if we have to sell it to somebody else first, you pay almost double. By the time it gets in the stores. Cheese in the store is normally a 50% increase what they put on the sticker. So it's just drive to the farm and just come on by and have the kids come outside. We got 2 Great Pyrenees dogs.
And they're sweet as can be, too.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are. Till yesterday, somebody sent me a text message saying, So anyway.
Well, they're farm dogs.
They're farm dogs for
Yeah,
sure.
they're
They
working
were.
dogs, too, yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, but they are there, So if you have a dog with you, please keep the windows closed, and if you can, leave the dog at home if you're going to plan on coming to us. Because our dogs are just puppies. The one is only a year old, and the other one 8 months. So they have a lot to learn, and we're teaching them, but nothing happens overnight.
No. Well, and they're always going to be protective of their territory.
Well, they're more laid back. That's why we got the Great Pyrenees, and they stay with me a lot. But when other people come up, they like to be nosy.
Yeah. Don't we all?
Well,
Yeah.
and it's an interesting place. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's really easy to want to be nosy at your farm.
Yeah, that's right.
At your dairy.
Well, we have an open door policy. I had some people come from Destin yesterday. Local Coastal Ranger is the store. They're carrying our product now too, and it's easy to say we have an open door policy. We don't have nothing to hide.
Right.
I mean, we say we're 100% grass-fed. We are certified 100% grass-fed. You can walk into any barn we have and see that we don't have any grains.
Right.
The processing rooms is a little bit different because we go by the health department. If we're processing milk or cheese, we can't have you go in there. But for the rest, it's come see the milking at 7 o'clock in the morning. I know it's early, but we're in the process of installing milking robots. So we're going to be here for at least another 6 or 7 or 10 years.
Yeah, that's great. Got
And,
to pay for them things, don't you?
Yeah, that's the idea, you know.
Yeah.
And so get some milking robots, and then we're going to be full blown back into school tours. We're building it like that we can do school tours again.
So that robot, is that a body shaped robot, or is
No, it's just a machine, square machine. Well, almost as big as this room.
Yeah.
And it has an arm, what has inflations on there, what cleans the cow, then puts the one by one the cups on there, and it milks. Yeah. And we're going to get 2 of them. So at least that's the plan. I'm still working on the paperwork because yesterday I found out that organic feed went up ridiculous too. So
yeah,
it takes some planning.
Do you guys retain your own heifers when you want to hold cattle back, or
We did up till 2 years ago,
3 years ago?
3 years ago, because then we thought we were going to quit, but one of our sons came back home, and he's interested in staying and raising his family on the farm.
Yeah.
So now, you know, when you keep cattle, it sounds always nice. People think, oh, they raise their heifers. But the cost involved in that. So now I have to raise these calves with our organic milk, what I normally can sell for $10 a gallon. Only on milk, this calf will drink $1,500. You know, then I only have a year-old calf or 8-month-old calf. Then if nobody got lost, you know, in the process, or a cow with only 3 quarters because the flies got into her, or whatever you cost. And so with other words, by the time I milk this cow at 3 years of age, because we do only grass feeding, it takes 3 years before they start having the first calf, and not 22 months. I'm out of $4,000.
Yep. Per calf.
Per calf.
Per cow.
Per calf. And if I do 80 a year, that's a lot of cash flow.
A lot of cash flow.
A lot of cash flow.
Not only is there a lot of work, there's a lot of accounting and thinking and budgeting and managing on the farm.
Yeah, it is.
One of the other things I remembered is the way you found the farm was through a publication, a magazine, which United Country, our company still does, a catalog, and which that kind of caught our interest too, and it was pretty cool how those old magazines still work.
Yes,
you know,
it does. It does.
When your properties go out in those magazines, and of course I used to love to get them and look at them, just to look at what's for sale in other parts of the country. Yeah,
that's right, and that's what we had done on. So when we leased that farm in Grand Ridge, we had a 3-year contract. Because I guess they knew within 3 years they weren't going to be able to foreclose or do all the paperwork they needed to do. Then the next time they said, oh, it's going to be for a year. And the year was up June the 1st always. Then the May comes around, 1991, they said, oh yeah, we're not going to extend your contract. Maybe from month to month you can stay over there. I'm like, we can't run a dairy farm month to month, you know?
Can't do that.
Can't run life from month to month.
No, it's right. And we happened to read in the Horse Dairyman, the dairy magazine, that the Grace Brothers had a dairy for sale.
We're so glad you guys made it to our parts of the country.
Yeah.
I know that when you started in the Slocomb, how many dairies were there then versus right now?
There were 330 dairies in the state of Alabama. There's 13 permanent dairies left.
All the way down to 13.
13.
From 300 to
30. Yeah,
330 to 13.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's in 30 years. So from 1991
till now.
That's, wow.
Not a very good success rate. So that shows you the dedication, the hard work, the critical thinking and management.
Yeah. And it's a lot of thinking and managing your money. Because you had, in those good years, in the years we were big dairy farm, we had some good years too. But then when we got hit by 2003 and 2006, we went both years $1 million into debt. And that was with us paying all our other bills. Those years, we didn't have there were dairy farms when they had good years. You see them driving around in motorhomes and boats and have all this stuff. We never had that. And so when these 2 bad years came around, we have really thought hard about filing for bankruptcy. And we said, we owe too many local people money where we could not do that.
Right.
And so we said, well, my husband went on the tractor then, and a lot of chicken houses happened to get
That's
built
correct.
those years. And he done a lot of work for the chicken houses
Building
and
pads.
building pads with the tractor and helped us out of debt.
Yep.
That meant that we didn't live together because he would live in a travel trailer and I would live at a farm and do all the farm work by myself.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I remember someone mentioning, but I done had my pads built, but I remember them talking about Mr. Chan was doing the pads, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, he did the dairy.
No, yeah, that's right. But
he
that's
does
how
what it makes to make a living, don't we?
we do, you know, and I mean, that's just life.
Yeah.
It is. You do what you got to do. We've done it
Yeah.
most all of our lives.
So I grew up in a city. So I was not used to this, but I mean, I wouldn't change anything anymore.
So you grew up in the city and came to the farm. That's
Yeah.
great. Well, then
Just happened
that's
to
the dream
meet
of a
my-
lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people, but it's not always easy life
Yeah,
where
it's
they can
not.
stick it out, you know.
Yeah.
It's different. It's
You got to
different.
really want to live on the farm, don't you?
Yeah, you really want to live on a farm.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
No doubt. No doubt.
So how did the cheese making come about? Because you haven't been doing that for
No,
very
actually,
long.
no. I started that in 2017. We had a flood of milk, and we had to have any business in the dairy industry has always, if you're gonna go for yourself, processing milk, you have to have a balancer. That's how they call it. You have to have a balancer for that extra milk you don't sell every week. So we start looking into making cheese, and then we had some extra money, and we start using some extra, found some used equipment online, and we start making cheese. We had a building, what we redone, what was an old farm building before we milked the robot. We had a carousel barn, and then we used the old milking barn to make it a cheese plant. And from there I started using YouTubes to learn how to make cheese. And then I was making a lot of Gouda cheeses, but they all needed to be brined. And then we had so much milk, I had to make cheese every day, but the brine bed was not big enough to make cheese every day, to go brine that, because they needed to be brined for 36 hours. So I had to find a cheese that didn't need to be brined, and that was this farmstead cheese.
Wow.
Well, it was a winner.
It is. It's been from day one, actually. When the first time I started making farmstead cheese, and the Good Food Awards in California asked me to put in cheese for the competition, I done the farmstead cheese. That was the first cheese I made, and it won an award right away. I said, "Oh, no more Gouda." I might be from Holland and think that I need to make Gouda because that's the kind of cheese we
That's a
eat
big
over
deal
there. Yeah, but no, I don't have to.
You said goodbye to it.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's good.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
so can you take us through making cheese? So it's just not a simple product of pour it in a form.
No, it's we milk the cows one day or 2 days in a row to have enough milk, and then the next morning, the guy what works for my son Johnny, he comes in early at 6 o'clock. He pumps the milk 330 gallons into one of the pasteurized fats and pasteurizes to 145 degrees for 30 minutes. Then pumps it over to the cheese room. That's most time around 8 o'clock. And then from there, I get milk on 88 degrees because he cools it down to 88. That's what I need, the temperature I need to put a culture in and make the culture work, like give it a taste on the milk. And then you'd put rennet in so many minutes later, and then you cut the cheese so many minutes later, and then you stir it slowly, and then you heat it up, and then you cook it for an hour and a half longer, and then it actually have cheese curds that go into a big old sieve, if you want to say it like that. And from there off, we drain it then, and we have to stir it by hand, because it's not automated. It's not a cheese what get made commercials. We still do a lot by hand, and that's why I have artisan cheese, And from there it goes into forms. Then after an hour, you put it in a form, put it under the press for 7 pounds of pressure, and then turn it around after an hour, put it on 15 pounds of pressure, turn it around 2 hours later, turn it on 25 pounds of pressure.
What does the pressure do?
Presses out the whey between the cheese curds, and that's why it has to go slow, because if you would do that right away on 25, you would lock in that whey in between the cheese curds, and that will spoil. Then you get really tangy, spoiled.
Yeah, like a bitter.
Bitter aftertaste in your mouth, in the back of the mouth.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the reason that it took us, 2 weeks to schedule her in is she had cheese that had to be maintained. And
She was telling us that once that schedule hits,
that's it.
You have to get there. She has to be there to turn it, to up the pressure on it and all that stuff.
Turn it again.
We are on the clock. So
Yeah, and so actually last week I then made the decision to not make any cheese for a little bit, because I have so much paperwork I have to organize for seeing if we can get money for the robots and reorganizing some stuff, and then we leave on the 3rd to go to Holland to see my mom, her 90th birthday. So yeah, there's little things we need a hit, to make that all happen too.
So if they want cheese, they better come get what's there.
No, there's always somebody there. I have a daughter-in-law who can take care of it. And there's sons who take care of the milk to make sure it's all there.
Gotcha.
one of the other cool things I do remember about when you guys, I think it's probably been 10 years, but I remember you guys, someone told me, maybe I visited the farm, but your family back home in the Netherlands were able to see what was going on the farm sometimes, when the internet and the cameras came out. And so they knew what was going on the farm. And if you was there, if you had to go back and visit or wanted to go back and visit, you knew what was going on.
Yeah, we could see that,
Yeah,
and now some of them, a lot of that stuff is already old-fashioned,
Yeah,
so we've been really trying to upgrade it. I actually put a booster in, a Wi-Fi booster, so we can now have Wi-Fi on the whole farm again. And then that's what goes back to putting cameras back on the water tower and making sure what things happen, that we can see it from the distance, but also to just keep an eye on things.
Yeah.
I might even put a two-way speaker on the one by the farm fridge, because we see sometimes people drive up at 8 o'clock at night and it's a little dark, but you can see they're new people. They probably don't know what they're doing.
Right.
Or make a little movie or a little something where we have to, a little clip what can automatically play when they come out.
Yeah, but maybe scan a QR code and it takes them to a little YouTube video.
Oh, yeah, that's something too. But then you have older people too coming.
Oh, that's
they don't
very true.
always have
very
an
true.
iPhone or a phone.
That's very true.
Yeah, so
maybe just a little monitor out there for them or something.
Something.
Well, I was thinking about like the baby monitors. My daughter's got a baby monitor.
Yeah.
And when Marina is supposed to be laying down, taking her nap, she's 22 months, and she's standing up in the crib.
Yeah.
You can hit it and say, you better lay down.
Yeah. Well, that's what we said, because I think the possibility is there with the cameras we have. But we didn't install it, right? Because I don't know if that's on the phone or only in the office on the monitors that you can talk
So
back
you can
and
be
forth.
like,
Yeah, there are definitely some. My security cameras have the two-way audio.
Yeah.
To my phone.
Yeah. So I need to figure that out.
that'd be pretty funny, though. You need to record so you can see their reaction. Be like, hey, that cheese is $6.
Yeah.
You only left a $5.
Yeah. I know I put a paper on already, say cheese, because you're on camera.
Yeah.
There you go.
But
There you go.
there's all these little things, come slowly.
That's right.
That's right.
Can't do it all by myself.
So I'm very curious. I got the Slocomb tomato and garlic right here.
And the green cheese?
Yes.
Cheese?
What all is in that? 'Cause that's
And the green
delicious.
cheese? The green cheese?
Yes.
Is celery, chives, garlic, onions, and garlic, chives, garlic, and onions, yes.
David's wife was nice enough. She made
Yes,
some
my
crackers.
wife has taken up sourdough, has her own sourdough starter going and everything now. So these are homemade sourdough crackers.
So
We're still dialing it in. Well, I say we. She is still dialing it in, but she's got some with everything bagel seasoning on them, and they're divine.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, actually, there's in Georgia a company there's a other cheese company in Georgia, and they actually buy local crackers.
Oh wow.
And they make like a package, you know. So if your wife is getting into the cracker business, let's talk.
I don't know if she's ready for that size, but,
But no,
we'll
but-
keep it in mind and everything. We'll let you try some and see if you see if that offer still stands.
Yeah, no, but it's most time that's how you try to do. Like we're talking about small towns, big dreams. I mean, you got to dream big in a small town to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
And that are some of these extra things you can do, and then support each other.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
so we never had too much support from Slocomb, but it's actually when we were a big farm, it was an $11 billion influences on Geneva County.
Wow.
You know, it's a lot. You know, and now even with us, what we're doing now, I bet you that multiplier,
It's on up.
it's millions.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
it is. It is.
Yeah, and we do have to. We just got to. That's why we want to get the word out. That
Yeah.
you know, I know a lot of people hear about your farm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they know exactly what all is possible.
Yeah.
You know, that they can go to the farm and they can pick that up, and
Yeah.
and they're getting a great product, better than they can buy otherwise.
Yeah.
Especially around us, and that you are covering most of the states around us with your cheeses and your butter and certainly your milk. But
Yeah.
I'm just tickled that you was able to come in and that
Yes,
we were
sir.
able to have a conversation with you, and that maybe we get more people to catch on to your cheeses.
Yeah, and it's I don't know why, you know, because I do so much advertising on Facebook
Right.
too and Instagram. But it's like this morning, I had still a lady had been to the farmers market in Dothan this week and talked to a lady what makes soap in Vicksburg, and the lady what makes soap, her daughter is on our raw milk because of the eczema, and so this lady, her daughter had the same thing. So she was coming by, sitting and didn't even know our dairy was there. You know, so we have signs on the 84.
Oh yeah, it's extremely easy to get to.
Yeah.
Y'all have great directional signs to get you all the way there, and then you have the sign out by the road. You can't
Yeah.
miss it.
No.
If you know what you're looking for, you can't miss it. And
No.
y'all's
But then some people still don't, like Dave said, that Mike says that people don't realize they can actually drive up. Even though on the sign it says stop and shop here,
right.
people don't get that they actually can drive up. And we don't have a shop. We only a 3-door refrigerator outside.
Right.
What keeps being stocked, and you can get ground beef or any steak cuts if you call me ahead of time. Ground beef, whole milk, cream, chocolate milk, 3 kinds of butters, 8 kinds of cheeses. Any
That's
time of the
impressive.
day, raw milk is a big seller at the moment because
Alright.
it's like a fad people are into. Raw milk is really healthy. We are certified organic and certified grass-fed. We have 95% of our cows are A2, what helps a lot with autism in children.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and from there.
And that's the main thing. I think that people need to realize you're not just going to a farm and getting milk. You're getting qualified, certified,
Product.
award-winning
Product.
material.
Yes, that's right. That's right. It's a big deal, and we're the only certified organic. We are actually one of 2 dairies in North America that are certified organic, animal welfare
wow.
approved.
Yeah, that's
They're
what
just not
That
there.
was it's something to it's one thing to be certified organic, but then the animal welfare approved is another on
Ours-
top of that. Correct.
Yes. And then those same people also certify us for 100% grass fed.
Okay.
Because grass fed in the store can still say 10% can be grains.
Right.
Well, if that 10% is grain, it is GMO grain. So people who are having issues with allergies or anything, they're gonna react to that.
So what are some of the labels that you can see in a big box grocery store that you wish people knew more about? That could
All natural,
all natural.
GMO free. GMO free is such a fate. Those people still spray all the pesticides and herbicides, all the chemicals on the plants or the Roundup, So it might be GMO free seed, but that don't mean that it's not treated with any chemical.
Gotcha.
And people be surprised how much labels are. They have to start doing a better job with reading. I know everybody's busy, but we grew up without internet.
Mm-hmm.
This next generation has all the possibilities available for them to go online and read. Read and teach yourself,
I think the younger generations probably do. Our daughter was not raised to be that way,
No.
but she's very conscious.
And what she's going to feed her baby.
Absolutely.
I'd say that's what got me and my wife interested in products like yours and doing like the sourdough. Like we don't even buy sandwich bread anymore because and to be honest, like even me who's eaten 99-cent Sunbeam all of his life because that's what mommy and daddy bought.
Yeah.
But like to take that sandwich bread and I can eat a sandwich and I don't feel groggy after.
No.
Like not only is it better for your health overall, but it's like just you immediately feel
The
difference.
Yeah.
The difference in it.
And it's just hard. And you say, well, a lot of people do this. It's not that many people will do that. But believe me, we might be just a few what do our research and what we're sticking in our body. Mm-hmm. Because you'd be surprised how many people still drive up. Or I quit sampling milk in Winn-Dixie. I could see these overweighted people coming to me and saying, why should I buy an $8.50 gallon of milk when I can get it for $2? And the buggy in the meantime is loaded up with all these industrial carbohydrates, and I'm thinking, yeah, you're 500 pounds, maybe not, but like 350, 400 pounds.
And you're not really buying milk, you're buying.
Yeah, you're so it's not people don't get it yet.
Yeah.
People need to start reading and know about labels and know what they're sticking in the body.
Do you have any resources or anything you would recommend people look into to maybe start to educate themselves and rather than just doing an internet search? Because as much good information as there is on the internet, there's a lot of bad information too.
So. And that's right, but there's in universities and extension services. Like I have that whole thing online. About A2A2 and about grass-fed, what the benefits are.
Right, those are linked within your website to different articles and blog posts you have, like we mentioned before.
And they're good blog posts, and that's what it's just important for people to do that and better support as small town folks. That's something I want to really get around to. Absolutely. I mean, if you have our what do you say, Geneva County, not even maybe up to Hartford, Dothan, Enterprise, you make a circle. Mm-hmm. You would think we would be sold out of milk every week.
Right.
If they would support us. And there's just a priority in these days in people going to dollar store or Walmart.
Convenience.
The convenience, where we grew up and just buying the eggs from the neighbors or getting the vegetables on a fruit stand. It's just not there anymore, that commitment from people. They have different priorities in life.
And they know it's better. I mean, especially,
they know.
You know it's better. It's just a commitment to do that.
To that.
But everybody's just anxious for this time of year. Hey, we got fresh vegetables.
Yeah.
And, I mean, so you're waiting for those guys to put the sweet corn out, and the vegetables on the stand.
Yeah.
So Tina's always been better at healthier foods than me.
Yeah.
She's always done a really good job of keeping me fair as she could, even when she ate a lot healthier. But
when?
Uh-oh.
He's throwing me under the bus on the internet.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
No, she still does a good job of keeping me as close as you can. But it's just what I'm used to, and I know it's bad for me. Dang, it's good though.
I know. I hear.
My boy loves some peanut butter cake.
But that's why that's why she's saying it's addictive because it's all this stuff.
The sugars especially. The sugar is just as bad addictive as marijuana or methamphetamines. Mm-hmm. Your brain just whatever they do with it, it
does. It really does.
I can remember my mother saying that. Sorry, I can remember my mother saying that. She was. I guess she was just someone was an addict, and she was going, "Why don't you just quit?" And it was like the Lord had spoke to her and said, "Well, why don't you just quit sugar?"
Yeah.
And so it kind of gave her a different outlook on
life and that sweet
addiction.
tea, you know.
Yeah, so you're just as addicted.
Yeah,
To-
that
just
sugar
something a little-
is,
yeah.
you know, that sugar is really addictive, and that makes a lot of difference.
No, it
absolutely.
really, really does. It's, you know, anytime you can. And I think the local support is something that I hope we can bring attention for you and get people to come support and come buy from you.
Yeah.
That was kind of some of the goal too that excited me about having you on with us.
Yeah.
Because even I'm guilty of not going by and stopping as often as I should. I get home and I'm like, I meant to go by.
Yeah.
You know, and you just get on your brain going home. But with the self-checkouts and convenience, I don't think it could be any more convenient. You don't have to stand
24
in
hours a day.
24-hour
Yeah.
access. You don't have to stand in a line.
No, you drive right up to the honor system, and sometimes of the days there is actually 3 or 4 or 5, 6 cars sitting in line. But with COVID here too, they were up to the road, and people would give everybody the privacy to just get by themselves. That car left, then the other one pulled up. So that would keep on going. And it would be great to see that again.
Oh, yeah. The convenience. And so there's really no excuse in us not taking the time to support and go purchase those products that are healthier for us. They're much yummier when we put them in our mouth.
Yeah.
And then they're giving our bodies the fuel that we need. And we are supporting local, which also brings revenue into our county.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it really makes us, for a lack of better word, just to look downright stupid when you sell more volume right out from under our nose to other areas
Yes, ma'am.
versus right here.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, there's really no better way to put that.
No, it is like that. And I don't know, I done a lot of Facebook advertising, and I always pick this area. But then if you quit for one weekend, it seems like people
Just
forget you
dips,
again.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
go again. We got to go again.
We run into that a lot too
Yeah.
in our industry, because which the difference is how often you don't have milk in your refrigerator or cheese in your refrigerator. Whereas in our industry, most people aren't always looking to buy or sell property. So that's a industry wide issue, is that we do business with somebody, and even if they love us, in a year they're going to forget all about
It's
it.
staying top of mind.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
we have to keep posting Facebook. That's why we're doing this, is we're trying to stay top of mind.
Yeah.
And as we talked about, your Facebook is much stronger than ours.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you're probably doing us more good than we're doing you.
I hear
by
you, I
being
hear
on
you.
here, but
We
So
We
when I
appreciate
share it, I mean, now you're getting looked at 19,000 followers.
Yeah.
No, we
Yeah.
appreciate
There you
that.
go.
she
So
said, so how
let's
many?
see, let's see what is in it for me.
Yeah, who's helping who here? Who's helping who? But I will tell you that, you know, the local people not supporting. I had an online boutique for about 3 years that I did with my daughter-in-law, and we closed not long ago. But it was actually amazing to me that the majority of our customers were not from right here. We had more sales from Dothan and wherever. We did more shipping out to
Yeah.
faraway places than people right here.
I know.
So I say that to say it's not personal.
No.
You know,
I
what I
know.
mean?
I know it
'cause
is.
It can hurt your feelings, though. You're going, my goodness, these people right here around me that I thought loved me don't buy from me.
No.
But for some reason, they just forget you're there, and
Yeah.
then
It's really not personal. I mean, I
It's
don't think they're
not.
saying I ain't going.
No,
away.
no, that's not.
It's
That's
just-
just
it
the
don't cross your
commitment
mind.
or
or habit. They're
Or
habited
habits.
to buying at the grocery store, and,
Yeah.
and they just forget. and
We are creatures of habit and creatures of convenience.
Yeah, a
to
convenience
almost
totally.
to a fault.
to a
Almost
fault. Because
yeah.
I'm bad. Well, I don't go to Publix anymore. My groceries get delivered because I just feel like that little bit of money I spend, I actually save on plenty
you do
of time.
because you don't pick up stuff and
Yeah.
you don't spend the gas.
Yeah, and then, but if you go over there and you see organic Valley grass-fed milk, it's $5.99 for half a gallon. Ours is only $4.75, including the tax. So I
Get
mean,
you some of that.
And they're conveniently located between 84 and 52.
Yeah,
You,
so
you
it's
can
like-
access them quickly between either highway.
yeah, between Slocomb, Enterprise,
Yeah.
Hartford,
Come get your milk.
yeah, come
There
get
you
milk.
go. There you go.
Not only milk, but raw milk, cheese, butter, grass-fed ground beef.
And the butter is amazing too.
Yeah, I'm
That's-
excited about the
that's-
butter because I I don't use margarine. I've used real butter forever.
Yeah,
I
we
guess
always
I
do.
guess it's real butter. I mean, I'm buying it for real butter, but I am going to purchase my butter from you from now on.
Thank you.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Really excited about that.
People love it with pound cakes.
Oh, yeah.
When they make pound
yeah,
cakes,
just
and I sell ladies' eggs, so they are organic and free roaming. So you get like the best ingredients you can get,
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
That's right.
But yeah, that's what we hope we can do. But we know also that we're living in a poverty area.
that's right.
Area, people don't always have the money. So let me come back on that. I do take EBT.
That's
That's
great.
good to know.
Yes,
I do take EBT
that's awesome.
by appointment because I'm not always in the office. But I like to have at least a $30 minimum to run the EBT card for me to make a commitment to come to the office and run the card.
Okay,
But they can
fair enough.
They can get everything we sell
What's the
on the EBT.
typically what's the shelf life of your milk? If somebody just needed to buy just milk or milk and butter and everything, what's the shelf life
The
of
milk,
the milk?
the milk is always fresh on Fridays. Friday afternoons is the fresh milk. We sometimes run over into maybe 20 gallons, but it's not fresh. But it'd still be another 10 days or 15 days to go on the shelf.
So if you're going through milk and you need to purchase with EBT, come on
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday afternoons,
Friday
and you can get
afternoons.
2 or 3 gallons, because
And
it'd be
it'll last
good
you.
for a
And some
couple of weeks.
beef, and I mean, you can get it to $30.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah, oh yeah.
delicious
That's
cheese.
right.
Great.
And then I do discount the beef. If you buy more than 16 pounds, we normally sell the ground beef for $9 a pound, grass-fed organic beef. But then I'll go to $6.
And if before you say that's a lot for ground, if you've never had fully grass-fed ground beef the way God intended, then you need to try it. You don't have to eat it if that's, but if she has some available in that
Yeah.
cooler and you try it, it'll blow your mind.
And I think your grass-fed beef will get a bad name because I've had grass-fed beef that was said it was grass-fed beef, and it probably was. I don't know what grass it was, but it wasn't that great. But then when yours,
It was
it's a
lawn
whole
fed.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't what you have.
No, it's so that's a loophole.
Yeah,
So the loophole is they can feed grass for the last 6 weeks
and call it grass-fed.
and call it grass fed.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Don't you love regulations?
I do.
Semi regulations.
It's that's why I say it. People need to learn,
Need to be educated.
educated, and I feel like I'm done with it. Sometimes, I'm like,
Well, you just
Well, I
busy.
mean, well, no. The thing is, everybody has the internet,
Right.
but instead of going on Facebook, go and learn something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Read something about what do I put in my body,
Absolutely.
because all these diseases come from somewhere. Cancer it's I know my dad died from cancer in 1983, so it wasn't as bad with the herbicides and pesticides those days, but the cancer rate is so much higher these days. Think about what you stick in your body. Ulcer colitis, allergies with kids, autism. Autism, it's curable. If you go get a right diet, there's books available, and I don't know the name from it anymore, but I know we have it. That is just the diet. It's a lady from England who wrote a book. My husband did read the 2 books he wrote, and it's really about what you put in your body.
I've always said you cannot put diesel in a gas
Just go.
car and expect it to run.
That's right. That's right.
Body's the same way.
Yeah.
Well, it has been a pleasure having you on today,
Thank you.
having you with us, and thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule to do that.
Yes.
And let's everybody remember to buy local milk and cheese and butter
Yeah.
and grass-fed beef.
And if you're not local, they have a website.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
our
For the
website,
cheeses,
we
yeah.
ship all over the world. Oh,
Yeah.
not over the world. But actually, yeah, I do, because when I go to Holland, my sisters told me already, I better come back with some cheese.
I know that.
Yeah.
Well, just you guys remember the Working Cow Dairy Farm, and you remember United Country and for real estate. And I hope you guys have a good day.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Small Town Big Dreams. Please like and subscribe to our channel, and be sure to join us next time from the United Country Fulford Realty Recording Studio in Hartford, Alabama.